Assalamualaikum and a very good day everyone.
My name is Muhammad
Today I
Irfan
will
bin
share
Azad,
with you my first
and our
video
team
reaction.
has selected the topic on
Okay, our
alternative
group
and
has
renewable energy.
selected the topic
In
on
conjunction to that, we
alternative
have
and
also selected a
renewable
video
energy.
for us
So
to
the
give
video that we
our
have
own
selected
reaction.
for this
The
purpose
video title
is this
is
video, as
Top
you can
10
see
Potential
on the
Energy
YouTube with
Sources
the
of Tomorrow.
title Top
Okay,
10 Energy Sources.
alright. First of all, we are on the supportive mode to the video. This is our first reaction. We are moving from world currently, which is powered by dirty fossil fuels, as we all know. uh, the fuels that we use currently using hydrocarbon, be it petrol, be it diesel, and so on. Okay, so the planet is going to get a better form of energy, which is from renewable and clean sources. So this is agreeable without any doubt, as mentioned in the video. Alright, what is the evidence? Okay, as we globally we are going green. Why? To combat the bad effects of greenhouse, to combat the bad consequences of global warming. As we know, if it continues, it will cause the ice to melt. Okay, um, and it will further cause the sea level to rise, and globally it will affect people living nearby to seashore. The sea level will rise, and then it will affect their location, their living place. Okay, so in the video, the proposed 10 most promising alternative energy are, okay, we start with number 10 until number 1. Okay, number 10 is space based solar power, and then human power, and then tidal power, and then hydrogen fuel cells, geothermal heat from underground lava beds, and then nuclear waste, and then solar windows, and then biofuels, algae, and then second top is flying wind farms, and the top one is nuclear fusion. Again, we state our agreement, full agreement, 100%, that those types of alternative energy are much better and cleaner compared to currently being consumed, the fossil fuels. The reason, okay, the reason it is important to mention, to highlight that cleaner energy without fossils will not harm and contribute to greenhouse effects and global warming. This is our main mission, to get out the culprit, okay, which is the fossils, contributing the greenhouse impacts and also global warming. Global warming. However, we we also have our arguments. We are being opposition. We are being against the points mentioned in the video. All right. First of all, okay, it is crucial for us to mention. However, the practicality and being suitable, it is the most important question raised here. Okay, why? Okay, we need to understand that due to global scale, every country has its own geographical setting. Not all countries have the same geographical setting. For example, some countries are closer to horizon. Okay, they are experiencing more sunlight and warmer and humid condition as compared to the other countries. For example, countries with 4 seasons, okay, countries that have which have snow, okay, as well as countries with dry setting. For example, in the African countries, in the Middle East countries. Okay, so we need to highlight this. Some might be practical and some might not be. Evidence. The first evidence. Let's look at landlocked countries. Example, Austria, Switzerland. Okay, this country do not have seawater. So, what is the effect? They couldn't generate tidal wave energy. Reason: seawater is necessary for generation of tidal energy, the movement of the seawater, okay, ups and down, okay, the tidal energy, okay, which is dependent mainly on the movement of tides. Next, secondly, it is important as well to highlight, okay, to stress on this point that nuclear energy is very expensive. It is it is clearly a burden for poor countries like Tanzania and others. Why? The reason, okay, the listed globally as among the top poor countries, okay, even for the basic needs on food and utilities, they might have to suffer. Let us imagine how could they get money to generate, okay, for the cost of production of nuclear power. All right. Thirdly, the point that we need to mention, okay, the evidence is not all countries have good access to underground lava beds. It is mainly due to geological setting and locations. Not not all countries have perfect access to lava beds, which are located underground. Due to that, due to the unavailability or uh, difficult access to underground lava beds, okay, so the geothermal heat couldn't be utilized for energy generation. Okay, so those are three main points with the evidence and reasons we have mentioned. We are trying to argue to be against the points stated in the video. Next, we move on to see, okay, to discuss, to present the facts, the explanation on uh, the option of having nuclear energy, because it has been mentioned twice in the video. So we will go and discuss about nuclear energy. Right. Why nuclear power must be part of the energy solution? Right. There are pros and cons on the nuclear energy. Okay, first we will look at the condemnation of nuclear energy. Why people condemn this energy? First, it is due to the production, which is very expensive. Secondly, due to the use of radioactive fuels. And thirdly, the supposed problem of disposing its waste. However, despite the condemnation, nuclear energy is first efficient and secondly, it is low carbon source of baseload energy. Alright, now we're going to look at the advantages and the disadvantages of nuclear energy. First, the advantage of nuclear energy is it generates baseload electricity without carbon output. Secondly, the plants operate at much higher capacity factors. And thirdly, it releases less radiation into the environment. Alright, however,
there are few disadvantages of nuclear energy. Firstly, and very obviously, are the risk of accident, and secondly, the disposal of nuclear waste, and thirdly, the extremely high cost of producing nuclear energy. All right. Also included in the article is the discussion on steps toward decarbonizing, because it's a global awareness uh, uh, among the people in the world. We are going towards a greener option. Okay, well, we have two main options towards decarbonizing. First is switching from coal to natural gas. However, for this first option, burning natural gas produces about half the carbon dioxide of burning coal. So we can see currently many people in this world, we are burning coal to get energy. However, if we switch to natural gas, when we burn natural gas, the effect more or less only half of it. Okay, if we compare between burning coal and burning natural gas, only reduces about half of it. All right, next, the second option is switching from coal to nuclear. All right, uh, first and foremost, and very obviously, the second option is radically decarbonizing. Okay, and then it reduces greenhouse gases from only from ancillary use of fossil fuels during first construction, secondly mining, thirdly fuel processing, and then maintenance, and lastly decommissioning. Okay, and then it also releases greenhouse gases as much as solar power does. Okay, it's about roughly 4 to 5% as a natural gas fired power plant. Right. Okay, just now we look at the term capacity factor. What is actually about? Okay, capacity factor is a measure of what percentage of the time a power plant actually produces energy. Alright, this capacity factor is a problem for all intermittent energy sources. Okay, for example, sun does not always shine, wind does not always blow, and then water does not always fall through the turbines of a dam. Alright, now we're gonna have a look at energy consumption, energy production in United States. Okay, here there are four main types of energy in the United States. Firstly, nuclear power plant. Okay, it produces about 20% of United States electricity, and it operates 336 out of 365 days per year. Okay, so we can see that nuclear power has a very high capacity factor. Secondly, hydroelectric systems. Okay, it operates 38.2% of the time, which is equal to 138 out of 365 days per day. Okay, thirdly, the wind turbines. Okay, wind turbines operate 34.5% of the time, equal to 127 out of 365 days per year. And lastly, solar electricity. It operates 25.1% of the time, equal to 92 out of 365 days per year. So looking at these four looking at these four energy types, okay, produced and consumed in the United States, clearly we can see that nuclear energy is the winner in terms of reliability. All right. Okay. What about coal? Okay. Coal, first, it is the worst source of energy, releasing radiation. Secondly, it contains substantial volume of radioactive elements, uranium and thorium. Thirdly, so much coal is burned in the world and fly ash produced. Okay, so it contributes to air pollution. Okay, and has many bad effects. Okay, and then it's also a major source of radioactive releases. Okay, discussing about the disadvantages of nuclear energy, one point that has been highlighted is regarding the risk of accident. Okay, in history, there are three large-scale incidents of okay involving nuclear power reactors. First is the 3 Mile Island, Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania. Secondly, in Chernobyl, Ukraine, and thirdly, Fukushima, Japan. Okay, for the incident happened in 3 Mile Island. Okay, it was happened in 1979. Partial meltdown of reactor. Okay, and it released only a minimal quantity of radiation to the surrounding population. Secondly, Chernobyl happened in 1986. Okay, it was the worst nuclear accident in history. Explosion and subsequent burnout of a large graphite moderated and water cooled reactor. 29 disaster relief workers died of acute radiation exposure. And then UNSCEAR has identified no long-term health consequences to populations exposed to Chernobyl fallout. Okay, and then what happened in Japan in Fukushima? It happened in March 2011, quite recently. Okay, because it followed a major earthquake and tsunami, and then uh, uh, the tsunami flooded out the power supply and cooling systems of 3 power reactors. Okay, so there are uh, 3 large-scale incidents involving nuclear power reactors. All right, we are now on the last slide of this article sharing. Okay, so still we are discussing the disadvantages of nuclear power, right? Okay, uh, it is regarding the nuclear waste disposal. Okay, firstly, it is still a continuing political problem in the US. However, it is no longer a technological problem, and we need to note that most of the US spent fuel is stored at present safely in impenetrable concrete and steel dry cask on the grounds of operating reactors with slowly declining radiation. And thirdly, the disadvantage of nuclear energy, which has been discussed, is the extremely high cost to produce, okay, to maintain this kind of energy. Okay, however, if we conduct full accounting of external costs of different energy system, we would find nuclear energy is cheaper than coal or natural gas. All right, as a conclusion, we need to understand, we need to realize that nuclear power is not the only solution to the world scale threat of global warming. Okay, renewable energies and natural gas have their places. So all types of energy have their roles, and nuclear energy is one of them. All right, with that, thank you.